to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about probably the head coach candidate, I should say, that you know the least about. And that, of course, being Joe Judge of the New England Patriots. The reason that you probably know the least about him, well, it's quite simple. He has the least amount of history out of anybody that's on this list. He's never been anything more than a special teams coordinator with the New England Patriots. But one thing that sticks out to me when I did my research on this guy is very, very intelligent, and he's definitely very driven. So those are some things that really stood out to me. Do I think he's the favorite for the job? No, but I think he's interesting to talk about, and I think there's a reason that the New York Giants brought him in. Another thing I wanted to point out, I want to give Spencer from Rover Sports a lot of credit. I was watching his live stream yesterday talking about the potential head coaching candidates for the New York Giants when he was talking about Matt Rule and some of the guys they were bringing in. And he brought up a really good point. When you look what the New York Giants are doing, they're picking candidates from some of the smartest minds in the NFL. They're bringing in two Patriots with McDaniels. They're bringing in Rule, who's a very accredited coach. But they're jumping around. They're bringing in the Ravens defensive coordinator in Martindale. They're bringing in the Chiefs offensive coordinator over there. So the Chiefs arguably maybe the best offense. The Ravens arguably the best defense. The Patriots the best organization. So they're doing their due diligence. They're making sure they go over all the potential hires before they make a decision. And I got to give the Giants a lot of credit for that. And you know what? I don't mind bringing in Joe Judge. I think he's 38 years old. The guy's very smart. And yeah, like I said, he's the least accomplished. But he's the least accomplished because of his age. And the guy, has some strong points when I went over his resume. And we're going to jump into it right now. Judge was born in Philadelphia. I know, not the most popular of places as a New York Giants fans that you want to hear that your head coach or potential head coach is from. His father, Joe, played football at Temple and professionally in the Canadian Football League. So there you go. There's where he got his beginnings to the sport, right? His dad was a former football player. He's currently working on his PhD. I thought this was very, interesting. He's working on his PhD in education. So this guy now has been coaching in the NFL since 2012 with the Patriots. And alongside that, the stresses of that job, not to mention he's got two responsibilities. He's a special teams coordinator, and he's in charge now of the wide receivers. The unit has struggled, and Belichick put him in charge of that, obviously with all the guys that have retired, things like that. So he has two responsibilities with this football team. Alongside that is getting his PhD in education. And obviously, as a head coach, that's what you do. You educate people. And obviously, if he's getting his PhD, he's probably pretty smart. So really good work ethic. That's the first thing that jumps off the page, and very intelligent, which are very important things in a potential head coach, which is why the Giants are probably giving this guy a look. He played for Mississippi State from 2000 until 2004. In 2005, he joined the alma mater as a graduate assistant for the Bulldogs. He next served briefly as the linebackers coach for the Birmingham Southern Panthers in 2008 before finally getting his first big gig with the Alabama Crimson Tide, who's arguably, the best college program in the sport for the last decade. And I'm going to get into some of the quotes about what Bill Belichick has had to say about this guy in a minute. But yeah, there's his history, there's his beginnings. And then in 2012, he joined the Patriots as a special teams assistant and served in that role. In the 2014 season, following the Super Bowl with the Patriots, Judge was promoted to special teams coordinator following the retirement of Scott O'Brien. So he was an assistant. He then became the coordinator in 2014. On February 5th, 2017, Judge was Judge was part of the Patriots coaching staff that won the Super Bowl, obviously against the Atlanta Falcons. And then, like I said, he took more of a responsibility this year, getting, being in charge of the wide receivers along with special teams. Also, another thing I wanted to point out, in 2018, when McDaniels was rumored to be taking the Indianapolis Colts job, he was going to join him in Indianapolis. So Judge was looking to join McDaniels. McDaniels obviously saw, what this kid's about. He's going to join another situation. He tried to pry Judge from the New England Patriots, and that speaks volumes. I mean, this is a guy that's getting a new head coaching job, and he said, no, I want this guy to come with me. I believe he was going to be one of his coordinators. So that tells you something about this kid as well. And my guess is if Judge does not get a head coaching job, he will probably be promoted from within the Patriots organization. And who knows, he could be the coach in waiting for when Bill Belichick does decide to hang him up. So a very interesting candidate. But I wanted to jump into some of the quotes by Bill Belichick about this kid since he's been with the New England Patriots. And, like I said, there wasn't a lot for me to dig up. This guy's not been coaching as long as a Martindale, but I found this off of one of the Patriots Wire's websites. It was an article about Bill Belichick talking about his responsibilities and, crediting him as a coach. Here's the first quote. The Patriots special teams unit has been one of the NFL's best, with swarming coverage of kicks and punts and a handful of blocks and touchdowns on field goal defense. The punting unit has been solid, with Jake Bailey enjoying a steady rookie season. And even with kicking problems, which followed Stephen Gostkowski's trip to the IR, the Patriots have normalized with Nick Folk. Here's the next thing I wanted to bring up. This is Bill Belichick talking about his coach. He's done a great job with the kicking game, and as you said, he's expanded the role a little bit, Belichick said during a press conference on Tuesday ahead of the team's wild card matchup against the Tennessee Titans. That's kind of had a little bit of a ripple effect in the way we've organized the kicking game, but that's all worked out pretty efficiently, and Joe has done a great job of organizing that as well as taking on some other things with the offense, in particular receivers. So he's done a great job. He's an excellent coach. And that's coming off the mouth of Bill Belichick. Now, of course, take that with a grain of salt. There's been a lot of coaches that have left Bill Belichick and have not thrived in other places, Josh McDaniels being one of them. And then finally, there's this. Because of Judge's success, he is drawing head coaching interest around the NFL. The New York Giants have requested permission to interview him for their vacancy per ESPN. The 38-year-old has risen from special teams assistant at Alabama in 2009, a position he held until the Patriots hired him for the same job in 2012. New England promoted him to coordinator in 2015, and he's continued that job through this season. Though he's had more help than ever from assistant Cam Atchord, as Belichick alluded to. So there you go. Those are some of the things about this potential candidate. Now, Judge probably will not be hired as the head coach because of his lack of experience, but maybe the Giants could potentially be interested in bringing him as a coordinator. That's another thing you got to look at. There's a reason they're bringing this guy in. So we'll see how it all plays out. Like I said, his biggest strength for sure, to me, his intelligence really stands out. I mean, the guy's getting a PhD while being a coordinator for the New England Patriots. So really impressive stuff there. He's young, he's youthful, and we'll see what the New York Giants decide to do in the coaching search of 2020. But I do like this guy as a potential hire down the line. Not so much this year with the New York Giants, but like I said, he could be a coordinator. There's a reason McDaniels wanted to bring him on with the Colts. He sees something in the kid, and obviously so does Belichick. Belichick has an eye for talent. And when he says you're a great coach, well, you probably are. I'm sure he's had a lot to do with the success with the New England Patriots. But as always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.